Welcome to Sacred Cow Shipyards, where no ship is safe from being taken down to its nuts and bolts. I'm technically taking this week and next week off, or this week and last week off. This whole concept of time is very confusing to me. Anyways, I'm taking a couple weeks off, and y'all weren't supposed to get any episodes, but I decided to go ahead and take pity on you and steal from the low-hanging fruit tree and give you something to at least tide you over until whenever I actually start picking up making these episodes for real again. So, low-hanging fruit. I mean, if you want to be honest, there's two universes from which low-hanging fruit are very easy to grab, and we're going to go with the actually harder one, amusingly, and go with Star Trek. And specifically, this thing. The f*** is that thing? I mean, seriously, what the f*** is that thing? Fuck's sake. Did some blend tech blender suddenly acquire sentience and sapience and decide to fly off into space or some fucking thing? I have no idea. Let me check my notes. Oh, well, apparently that's the Narada from the alternate universe Star Trek movies that J.J. Abrams produced once upon a time. I'm going to go ahead and say that I actually enjoyed the alternate universe movies. I think I've already said that, actually. But I'm going to go ahead and repeat it just because it's worth saying. Because people hate those movies for some reason, mostly lens flare. And I understand that lens flare is a take it or leave it kind of thing. But I really did enjoy how the new batch of actors did a really good job resurrecting the old characters. Beside the point. This is apparently the Narada, which was a Romulan mining ship? Mining ship. That's a mining ship. I mean, I guess if you wanted to, core out the center of a planet using all the spinning blades in the known universe, that thing would get it done. Hold on. Let me check my notes again. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, hold on. So, apparently, the Narada actually was a Romulan mining vessel from... Actually, not a long time ago. The Narada came from the future, so she will be a Romulan mining vessel. Time travel is just so mind-fucking. If I had a mind. Anyways, she was a Romulan mining vessel regardless, and she did actually abide by the Romulan kind of aesthetic for their ships. The classic two warp nacelles, vaguely bird-like structure, because we all know the Romulans do love their birds for some reason. And, I mean, somewhat mundane, normal-looking Star Trek ship. Fine. And then she had a detour at the vault, which, I mean, I didn't even know about until I started reading about this. And this is why I hate current modern, for y'all's time, Hollywood. Because none of this was articulated in the movie. This is all comic books and ancillary crap and other things that you have to go find and look up and read in order to understand the entire story of what's going on. They can't just tell you that in the movie. They have to tell you this and they have to tell you that, and they want you to read this and watch that and blah, blah, fucking blah. Anyways, Narada, classic Romulan starship from the near future of the original series movies, actually the original series of Star Trek. Fine. And then she went to visit the vault, which again, I had to look up because this is all new to me. Well, the vault was the Tal Shiar's kind of pet project safe house. And if you know anything about the Tal Shiar, you should be really terrified by that entire sentence. The Tal Shiar are the sketchy, secretive, actually they're beyond secretive. They would have to kill you for even knowing the words Tal Shiar side of the Romulan government. They make secret organizations, all other secret organizations, look like half-assed ponces. They're terrifying, and they are very focused. And as Picard discovered in his eponymous and also horrible TV series, the Tal Shiar had access to Borg technology. Because, I mean, nothing can ever go wrong with playing with Borg technology. And they used that technology, or were actually coerced to use that technology, to quote-unquote upgrade the Narada. She went from the classic Star Trek dual nacelle bird-like structure that she used to have, and became this whirling dervish of knife blades. For reasons, I don't know, it looks good, whatever. Anywho, it turns out that Narada got the lucky roll of the dice, and the ship got all of the usual Borg enhancements of semi-sapience, self-healing, adaptive technologies, all the cool fun stuff that comes from being a Borg ship, and none of the unfortunate stuff where the ship tries to take over the organics and absorb them into the collective. So, win for the Tal Shiar, I guess. And along the way, it again turned into this massive flying knife nightmare of doom. And then things happened, and then she traveled back in time and created the J.J. Abrams fork of the timeline and blah, 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 so on and so forth. We're not here actually to talk about the story of the Tal Shiar. We're here to talk about the fucked up goddamn fuckery that it turned into. I mean, seriously, how does that design even begin to make sense? It basically has this central, for lack of a better word, core all the way at its base or back or stern or whatever you want to call that. And then it's got all these prongs and blades and stuff all projecting forward from that original core. Great. What's in the prongs? Is that the living space? Is that your crew space? Is that mechanical? How do people get from point A to point B on this goddamn monstrosity? And it's not like the interior makes a whole lot more sense. I mean, I could almost understand how if each of these prongs were kind of like a cylindrical habitation area that had its gravity going outwards in every possible way. But no, the Narada apparently just has decks on the inside as you'd expect in any normal starship. Only the decks have massive amounts of volume. There's no bulkheads. There's no separation. There's no containment inside of this stupid-ass ship. So if she ever got a hole anywhere, like I guess technically the Borg technology would allow her to heal herself, but still, you're venting out massive quantities of atmosphere for no better reason than aesthetics. I mean, it looks like the hangar is like in the same room as the bridge. What? Who? Why? What? I mean, even Borg cubes are not that fucking stupid. I mean, the hilarity is I don't think Borg drones, the organic squishies that were hijacked by the machines, really care about being exposed to the vacuums and hardness of space. But still, Borg ships have compartments, they have bulkheads, they have hatches, they have doors, they have containment systems. And the Narada's like, nah, bro, I'm going to let it all just hang out, whatever. We're going to have this fucking little tiny fighter ship landing right the fuck next to the bridge, because why the fuck not? I mean, hey, the good news is the crew has to be in wicked shape just to be able to get around the ship, because not all the decks, in fact, none of the decks line up, so you're constantly, like, hopping from platform to platform over these, like, vast voids of space that fall down to I'm not really sure where. I really don't know which way is supposed to be up or down on this ship. Is it longitudinal? Is it latitudinal? It makes no sense at all. And then to add to this fucking madness is this thing apparently is, after all, a mining vessel, and it has this weird, like, drilling platform, quote-unquote, that drops out of somewhere inside of it, and then you have to drop it into a planet's atmosphere, and it can, like, punch a hole in the crust or something? What? I mean, seriously, what? How? Okay, so, fine. The ship establishes a geosynchronous orbit and drops a really bloody long extension cord into the atmosphere of the planet. And that's basically like half a space elevator right there. But mining ship, why are we having to get it into atmosphere? Why not just project the beam from the ship? Why does it have a beam that just cuts all the way into something? I mean, mining ships should be cutting up asteroids, not drilling into them. Because if you can slice and dice an asteroid, you can get to the crunchy good parts inside of it a lot easier than if you just punch one hole and then you got to do like old-timey mining where you beam some dudes over with pickaxes or some shit. What? I mean, that makes no sense. At least the Narada's missile complement, which is absolutely terrifying, does make a certain degree of sense. I mean, those kind of missiles would break apart the asteroid, so again, you could get to the crunchy goodness inside of it. Makes sense. I especially like how they can, like, you launch a missile and then it suddenly turns into 10 missiles, and maybe those turn into 10 more missiles, but that's probably part of, like, the Borg auto-healing technology. It can probably, like, auto-replicate itself and make more missiles as it goes. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. The missiles are actually the only part of the mining concept that actually track in this fuckery. Anywho, the out-of-universe explanation for how this utter nightmare contraption came to be is that the guy in charge of designing ships for the Star Trek movie was trying to come up with the most scary thing in space he could think of, and he saw his kitchen knife on his kitchen counter and tried to envision what a lot of those in space might look like. Dude. If the scariest thing you can think of is your kitchen knife, your kitchen knife. If that's the scariest thing you can think of, you really probably shouldn't be designing starships, man. Like, at all. And that's all from Sacred Cow Shipyards. Please be advised that any ship left on the dock for more than 24 hours will be compressed to a cube. Have a good day.